State last visited Bright Stars just 8 days before a child was hurt at the facility. 7 years ago today, 11-year-old Kevin Garza was killed in a pedestrian crash. The driver never stopped. And the ex-employee at a restaurant who admitted to aiming a gun at a customer shares her side of the incident.
Another big thunderstorm gives us a little bit of scare. You can see how it rolled right through the Edna area in Jackson County, but then it turned south and it fell apart. So tonight we're okay and we're not going to have any additional problems until tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about that coming up in a moment.
And the Refugio Bobcats state championship teams are showing off their new championship rings. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the night off. Just before 11 a.m. today, Victoria police were in the 1200 block of East Mockingbird Lane for a man found unresponsive in a vehicle. Officers broke the windows and determined the man was dead. Police believe the body was there for a few hours. Authorities say the man was 66 years old. He died while operating the vehicle. The car hit the fence. A passerby thought it looked strange and called police. No foul play suspected. Investigators still looking into an incident at Bright Stars Learning Academy Second Center last Friday. A child was hurt and had to go to an out-of-town hospital just before 1 p.m. The daycare is in the 100 block of Cozy Circle Drive. 25 News Now has learned the Health and Human Services Commission visited the daycare center on August 14th and found no deficiencies. We reached out to the director at Bright Stars Learning Academy, who declined to comment. The state's Child Care Investigations Division opened an investigation at the facility to see if abuse or neglect was a factor. And 25 News Now requested the police report and 911 call made that day. For now, anyone who has concerns about a child care operation can call the Texas Abuse Hotline at 800-252-5400 or go to txabusehotline.org to report abuse, neglect, or violations of state standards at a child care operation. A local family still waiting for answers 7 years later in a fatal hit and run. The child's mother runs a thrift store to keep Kevin's name and story alive. 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel has more. Adam?
That's right, Don. So 7 years ago today, 11-year-old Kevin Garza was hit by a car. The driver never stopped and is still out there. It happened along State Highway 185 as Kevin walked to school in Bloomington. Kevin's mother has kept a thrift store called Kevin's Closet open in his honor. It's now at 1708 East Airline. If you have any information on this unsolved fatal hit-and-run crime, call Victoria Crime Stoppers 361-572-4200. We spoke with Kevin's mother. She says having Kevin's Closet open is about keeping his memory alive and honoring his life.
It helps bring awareness to the case because people come in and they ask questions. Have they found the person that hit him? So we tell them no. And sometimes there's confusion because sometimes they think the person, that they already found the person. So when we tell them no, the person has not been found.
Darlene does want the suspect to be apprehended, but more than anything, she does not want Kevin to be forgotten and become just another case to some people because he's somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's grandson, and somebody's friend and classmate. Authorities have followed up on several leads and even located a vehicle in another state, but nothing has led them to the name of the person who committed this crime. Don, back to you.
Adam, thank you. And here's your viewer poll tonight. Scan the QR code on your screen to take part. Here's the question. Have you visited Kevin's Closet on East Airline? Yes or no? Let's look at the numbers. 10% of the voters say yes and 90% say no. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. A fire in Edna Wednesday afternoon. The fire at the Cottonwood Apartments, 1400 North Wells Street. Fire crews were on the scene. No word yet on how much damage there was. And let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. Mac, we had some really dark clouds coming our way. How much of a storm did we have?
Well, it was began up here in the Wharton area, and about 5 o'clock it really started getting big, and then we started seeing hail on top of it, and it was headed toward Edna. So we're going, oh my gosh! And then the big dark cloud rolled into Ventura Victoria County. You can see how the storm goes right there, goes through Jackson County, and then sort of turns south in Victoria County, and it's collapsed as of now. So so far we didn't get any rainfall at the airport rain gauge. Maybe you got some rain. Hopefully we'll get some lighter showers tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be talking more about that. But for the time being, that storm has collapsed. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. Lavaca County Commissioners extended the burn ban in that county this week. The drought index averaged well over the limit required for calling for a burn ban for that county. The burn ban that was approved by Wharton County Commissioners Court Monday morning and scheduled to go into effect Thursday morning will be delayed a day thanks to Monday evening storms that moved through the area. The burn ban was lifted in Wharton County September 17th. Edna City officials giving information to residents on cleanup from Monday night's storm. Edna City Manager Gary Braz says they have 3 crews working to pick up limbs. They are asking residents to put other non-tree limb damage in a separate pile in front of their houses. Residents or business owners who have any damage should call Edna City Hall. If Edna residents have damage to property and structures, Jackson County authorities asking citizens and businesses to use the iStat tool. Go to damage.tdem.texas.gov to report damage. The suspect in the migrant bailout in Victoria County Monday has been identified and arrested. 24-year-old Pepe Patino Gonzalez of Houston, charged with smuggling of persons. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a $40,000 bond. Gonzalez, the only person arrested in the bailout Monday afternoon in Nursery. Gonzalez accused of driving the scout vehicle in the bailout. Up to 12 migrants reported to be involved. Authorities tell us one of the migrants was located Tuesday morning. An employee at a Houston restaurant who admitted aiming a gun at a customer is telling her side of the story. Released video shows her shooting out the drive-through window after a dispute over curly fries.
She's aiming, she's leaning. She's not just going up in the air trying to scare people. She's trying to kill them.
This morning, attorney Randall Callanan and his client, customer Anthony Ramos,
Scared, that's for sure.
detailed the controversial curly fry incident and the shooting that followed.
It was pointed right at me. I don't know how she didn't get me.
And this afternoon, the armed employee on the other side of the dispute contacted ABC 13 to respond.
I want to clear my name and tell my story. That's not the whole story that they telling.
Alonia Ford Theriot says she worked for Jack in the Box for 15 years, most recently at the location on JFK where she says the job was dangerous. This was her in March of 2021. Ramos says he and his wife ordered a meal combo but didn't get the curly fries.
She said we weren't going to get them, and that was it.
The confrontation escalated to food throwing, and Ford says racial slurs, which Ramos denies.
He kept saying, oh, you gonna make my order over. This is the type of talk about behind you. We hate like y'all.
She says she asked Ramos to leave. The video captures the gunfire. But the video does show you shoot at them. What if you had...
If you hear the audio, you didn't hear the gun go off at all.
There is no audio on the video that was released, but according to court records, Houston police did find a spent shell casing. Theriot was initially charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but pled guilty to a lesser charge of deadly conduct and got 1 year deferred adjudication, which she completed in June. She and the restaurant still face a civil lawsuit. Ramos and his family says they were exposed to a dangerous employee and were traumatized.
I served my sentence. I paid my fees. I did what I had to do. What else do you want from me? I can't give you nothing but an apology if you want that, but I need the same thing. We both need to apologize to each other.
In a statement, Jack in the Box says it cannot comment on ongoing litigation. It adds that the incident happened at an independent franchise and says the company is focused on safety. After almost 3 decades working as a firefighter, Victoria Fire Chief Robert Fox is retiring. Today, city leaders, staff members, and friends and family gathered to celebrate Chief Fox. He joined the department in June of 1996. He was named chief on July 1st, 2018. Chief Fox will finish up this week and head into retirement. Congratulations, Chief.
You know, I think one of my goals is this job hasn't allowed for many hobbies. So that's what I want to explore, find out some new hobbies, what I want to do, some things I want to enjoy in my time off, and really focus on a career that provides a good work-life balance.
Chief Fox said he was really blessed to work with such a great community and to work alongside some of the best people in the world. Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. The United Way of Calhoun County has come back after the pandemic with a fundraising goal of over $300,000. Plus, a fire truck belonging to the Port Lavaca Fire Department returned to the city after more than 5 decades. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can get Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us coming up on 25 News now at 10. A series of store lootings in Philadelphia leads to the arrests of multiple people. Also ahead, millions of Americans will begin paying their student loan debt in October. Several people face criminal charges after authorities said multiple groups looted from stores in Philadelphia. Police made at least 52 arrests, at least 30 people charged. The looting followed an earlier peaceful protest over a judge's decision to dismiss murder and other charges against a Philadelphia police officer who fatally shot a driver through a rolled-up window. Authorities said the ransacking was not connected to the protest and called the groups, quote, criminal opportunists, unquote. A new report shows theft and other retail crimes on the rise. The report estimates theft cost about $73 billion last year. It also shows most respondents note an increase in organized retail crime. The annual report is from the National Retail Federation. It lists the 5 worst cities for organized retail crime, which includes Houston. Nearly 44 million Americans will have to start repaying their student loan debt in October, and a big number of student loan borrowers say they're dealing with what they call payment shock.
Student loan payments are back, adding to a growing list of things eating away at Americans' finances. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says 1 in 5 people with student loans are likely to struggle once their payments resume in October.
So it does feel like a even bigger burden for certain people. So there's kind of like this mix of feelings.
And according to a Bankrate survey, nearly a quarter of Americans with student loan debt say borrowing too much for their education is their biggest financial regret.
The numbers are so unreal and astronomical that I can't even fathom making a payment.
If I had that ability to talk to my younger self, I would have never, ever gone for that law degree. These student loans have been a noose around my neck for 20 years.
According to federal education data, the average student loan borrower owes over $37,000, costing on average up to $300 a month.
If you have debt, you really want to face it head on and figure out a plan for it.
So what can you do now to get a handle on your debt? 1, get your finances in order. See where you can trim down now to handle that additional monthly expense. 2, research and sign up for a repayment plan.
So an income-based plan that will make sure that your payment doesn't exceed a certain percentage of what you're making.
3, get back on the bandwagon. Make the necessary adjustments to make one-time payments and avoid delinquencies. For Consumer Watch, I'm Cole Higgins.
The Texas Tribune has this story. Phoenix House, Texas, closing its outpatient clinics and residential treatment center because they cannot count on state funding. You can read this story on crossroadstoday.com. Fat in foods usually seen as bad for you, but full-fat dairy products may come with some benefits.
Researchers from the University of Vermont found that eating full-fat yogurt on a daily basis may help lower glucose levels for middle-aged and older adults with prediabetes. Prediabetes is a condition where blood sugar levels are above normal, but are not high enough to be classified as type 2 diabetes. With proper lifestyle changes, preventing or delaying type 2 diabetes is possible. Many national health organizations suggest choosing lower non-fat dairy options. However, recent research shows that full-fat dairy products may be beneficial for blood glucose or fat metabolism. The researchers looked at adults with prediabetes and found that after 3 weeks of consuming full-fat yogurt, blood glucose levels dropped and were considered within normal range. While more research is needed, this adds to growing evidence that full-fat dairy products may have some benefits. With this Medical Minute, I'm Emwin, ABC News.
Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record. The first South Texas Junior High STEM Center opens at Cuero Junior High. And Verena Albright celebrated her 103rd birthday. Happy birthday. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's 75 nice degrees after that rain-cooled afternoon. We managed to get up to a 96 this afternoon. You know how much rain we got here in Victoria? 1/100th of an inch of rain. That was it. All right, well, that storm that we saw earlier has collapsed, and we'll talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. Coming up in a moment. Stay tuned.
Searching for a place or whatever, and he goes, mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Well, good evening, everyone. We had a little bit of a scare there with another big storm that started forming up here in the Wharton area and then just rolled right down 59. Actually, it wasn't on the freeway because it came through Jackson County and looks like it missed most of Edna. It was looking pretty dark and pretty ominous, and then it rolled into Victoria County and then started to collapse. I mean, I think we got rain in the county and also down toward Calhoun, but at this hour, that pretty much is gone away. Now, again, along the coastal areas because of the sea breeze, we have moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, which is popping in the afternoon heating. If we were a little cooler, like in the 80s, we wouldn't be popping all these thunderstorms. Now, as you can see right here, this is an interesting map. Precipitation 8 to 14 days from now. So when is that? That's the second week of October, and we have a pretty good shot at getting some significant rain in most of central Texas and in our area as well. So that's a good sign. Also, the days are getting shorter. We're getting into October very soon, and so these temperatures in the 90s have got to go away. I just had it with them. Look at that, 96 today, 95 up in Waco and Austin, and it seems almost cool, can you believe? Tomorrow there'll be 97 up in Dallas, and we'll be 97 in Austin, and we'll be 94 because we're closer to the coast, and we're going to have a little bit more cloud cover out there as well. Yes, well, with a little luck, October will roll around and we'll finally get a much needed break. Now, out in the Atlantic, we have a storm, tropical storm. This is Philippe that is going to be turning and headed toward the Lesser Antilles. So the itty bitty islands down here and looks like Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands will be getting a tropical storm, not a hurricane, not a major hurricane, a tropical storm. So, you know, that's better than what it could have been. Right behind it, there's another system. This one's likely to be Rena, I believe. And Rena will also form maybe as soon as tomorrow as another storm that will follow that path almost indirectly. If you have a chance to go do a little fishing tomorrow morning, your sunrise is at 7:19, sundown is at 7:15. That's good. When we get down to fewer and fewer hours of sunshine, we can't warm up anymore. We can't warm up in the darkness, can we? But then again, things are strange. Just remember there may be some showers again tomorrow in the afternoon hours in the outer waters. For those of you in Port Lavaca, your morning low 76, your afternoon high topping out at about 90 degrees. We're looking for sun, then clouds, and then a few isolated showers. Same forecast for Cuero, 72 in the morning, up to 95 in the afternoon, then sun, and then clouds, and then a couple of isolated afternoon showers. Now, as we get to the weekend, the pattern sort of stays the same. If it wasn't so warm, we wouldn't pop all this activity. It's going to get up into the mid-90s, probably Sunday, Monday, and then starting here, Wednesday, we get down to 92. Remember I showed you that 8 to 14 days, which begins right about there? Well, hopefully we'll get some much needed break in the temperature department and maybe get some good beneficial rain. That is your 7-day forecast. Ron will remind everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Mr. Gino.
Thanks, Mac. The Victoria volleyball teams gave the fans something to cheer about last night. We have highlights after the break. At a crossroads, the Refugio Bobcats boys and girls track teams are celebrating their accomplishment of winning state by receiving their state rings today. At the Refugio High School Performing Arts Center, cheerleaders, band members, fans, and family gathered to celebrate the track teams sweeping the state meet. The boys won its second state track meet in a row, while the girls won its first title since 2018. Those in attendance included former state champions Toya Jones, Ginger Dickerson, and Kent Harris. Refugio Mayor Wanda Dukes was in attendance as well, and she declared that September 27, 2023 as the 1983 through 1985 Lady Cats and 1993 Bobcats Track Team Day. The Refugio Bobcats and Lady Cats have won a total of 20 combined titles in track and field since 1980. Dickerson challenged the boy team that has won 2 in a row to do what her team did in the late 80s, which was win a three-peat, even though hers won 4 in a row. The St. Joseph Lady Flyers continue to dominate at the net and swept San Antonio Providence last night. Senior Bridget Bluda and Emily Streef come up with a big block there. And next serve this time, it's Bluda and Channing Metzler with a block down the line to put their team within 1 point of putting the game away. The Providence come back a little bit though, and Bluda says, "No ma'am," with a stunning strike to end the game for the match point. St. Joe got the sweep 25-16, 25-21, and 25-20. Addison Azuna led with 19 kills and 13 assists, while Morgan Kornick mirrored with 19 assists and 13 digs. And if you missed last night's game between Victoria East and West, it was one for the ages. East came into the match never winning a single match in that game, or excuse me, ever in Victoria East history. The two teams went down to the final points, but West would storm back and Grace Weiler would dash the hopes of the East Lady Titans with a thunderous spike and would end the game. She finished with 11 kills on the night with 1.5 blocks and 10 digs. The West Lady Warriors are 2-1 in district play and will play Schulenburg on Friday. The East Titans are now 0-2 in district and will take on Miller Friday night. East and West will play again on October 13th, this time at West High School. After demanding a trade, the longtime Portland Trailblazer star Damian Lillard is being traded. Lillard is being traded to Portland to play alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. The deal ends a 3-month saga surrounding Lillard's wish to be moved elsewhere with hopes of winning an NBA title and ending his 11-year run with the Trailblazers. The 7-time All-Star goes from the Trailblazers to the Bucks in a 3-team deal that sends Drew Holiday from the Bucks to Portland, DeAndre Ayton from Phoenix to Portland, and Yusuf Nurkic from Blazers to the Suns. What a blockbuster trade. Well, bad news for Aggie fans. Texas A&M quarterback Connor Weigman will miss the football season for the rest of the year due to a lower leg injury he suffered in the win over Auburn. The sophomore from Cypress Bridgeland had his first x-rays come back negative, but then after more tests, it revealed that he broke his foot. Now, a veteran quarterback, Max Johnson, will get the start when the Aggies face Arkansas in Arlington Saturday before hosting Alabama in Week 6. And I had my ring last time, but I ate it all, so I don't have it anymore. But that's your sports. Don, back to you.
Oh, my goodness. Eating rings. All right, Gino, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, you don't need to Google this. Google celebrates its 25th birthday this month. Google turned 25 this month. Oh, I forgot to send a card.
Yeah.
And dedicated today's homepage Google Doodle to that milestone silver anniversary. The company actually founded on September 4th, 1998, but it's observing the 25-year anniversary on the 27th. That makes sense. In celebration, Google released a list of 25 numbers it says are important to its history, with one of the highlights being a Google. Yes, that's actually a number, a one with 100 zeros. It was the inspiration for Google's name. A NASA astronaut returning to Earth today after he was stuck in space for just over a year sets a U.S. record. American Frank Rubio landed with 2 Russian cosmonauts in a Soyuz capsule that was rushed up as a replacement after their original ride was hit by space junk and lost all its coolant while docked at the International Space Station. Space junk, was that the LeBron James movie? Anyway, this delay helped Rubio set the record for the longest U.S. space flight when a 180-day mission turned into a 371-day stay. True story, Rubio said when he got back to terra firma that if he had been told it would be a 371-day mission, he would have done it.
Right.
He wouldn't have done
I don't blame
it.
him.
He would have stayed here and watched Space Junk with LeBron James or whatever it's called.
Good thing they had enough food up there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. There were a
You plan on
year.
being for not that long, and then you got to have a year's worth of food there?
And you know, he probably hasn't had a hamburger in over a year, let me tell you.
Well, he probably called, one of these services and couldn't make it there. It's one of those things.
Was that DoorDash?
DoorDash.
Hey, I'm up in the space station. Can you bring me a cheeseburger?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, there was not a lot in the skies tonight that caused any kind of damage. And did we get any rain at all?
Officially at the airport, 1/100th of an inch. So we got 2 drops at the airport. Well, we want the rain. We just don't need the severe weather. And certainly our friends in Edna are a little gun shy right now of any additional thunderstorms. And so most of the activity has gone down for the night, and that's okay. Tomorrow we'll start it all over again. We'll start with the sun. Clouds will build up, and then we'll have a few afternoon showers. But we're staying in the mid-90s for the next 7 days, and I'm just optimistic that October is not that far away, right? And we are going to
Sunday.
we're going to get out of the 90s, right?
That's right. All right, Mike, thank you. And finally tonight, the world getting its first look at the new cheetah cubs at the Smithsonian National Zoo. The 5 cubs born earlier this month in Front Royal, Virginia can now be seen via live webcam on the National Zoo's website. Staff confirmed that 3 male cubs and 2 females survived the birth. A 6th cub unfortunately did not survive. The cubs may be out of view on the webcam at certain times as the mother may move them out of the den and around her habitat, but moms are allowed to do that.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
They are.
And they're quick about it, too.
That's right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us for 25 News Now at 10. Joining Karina Garcia, meteorologist Parker Cox. 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.